Burt Lancaster, born Burt and Stephen Lancaster on November 2nd, 1913 in Manhattan, New York City, grew up in East Harlem in a working-class Irish-American household, where discipline and determination were everyday values rather than lofty ideals. His father worked long hours as a postal clerk, and his mother managed the household with quiet resilience, shaping a childhood that was modest but emotionally grounded. Lancaster developed athletic ability early, excelling in gymnastics and basketball, traits that later became signatures of his on-screen presence. He attended DeWitt Clinton High School and later New York University on an athletic scholarship. But life had other plans. Long before Hollywood recognized his talent, Lancaster's physical strength and natural charisma were already evident to those around him. These formative years built the foundation of a man who would one day command movie screens worldwide with both power and emotional depth. From circus acrobat to accidental actor before becoming a celebrated film star, Lancaster's first brush with performance came not under studio lights, but beneath circus tents. In his 20s, he toured with an acrobatic troupe known as the K Brothers, performing daring routines with longtime friend Nick Cravat. The circus taught him balance, timing, and fearlessness, qualities that later allowed him to perform many of his own film stunts. When World War II arrived, Lancaster served in the US Army's Special Services Unit, entertaining troops and discovering a new outlet for his natural showmanship. Acting was not initially his planned career. It emerged almost by coincidence when someone recognized his stage presence and encouraged him to audition. That suggestion changed everything. What began as a practical opportunity slowly transformed into a calling, and Lancaster stepped into the world of film with confidence shaped by years of physical discipline and live performance experience. A breakthrough that defined an era. Lancaster's cinematic breakthrough arrived in 1946 with The Killers, a film noir classic that introduced audiences to his intense gaze and commanding presence. Playing the doomed character known simply as the Swede, he immediately stood out among established stars. His athletic build and piercing blue eyes combined with emotional vulnerability created a rare combination of strength and sensitivity. Throughout the late 1940s and 1950s, Lancaster evolved from action-oriented roles into complex dramatic performances, refusing to be limited by typecasting. Films such as From Here to Eternity and Sweet Smell of Success showcased his range, while Elmer Gantry earned him an Academy Award and cemented his reputation as a serious actor. He wasn't merely handsome or physically impressive. He was intellectually engaged with his roles, bringing nuance and conviction to characters that demanded emotional courage and moral ambiguity. A producer with purpose and principle. Lancaster's ambition extended beyond acting into film production, where he co-founded an independent company that allowed him creative control at a time when studios held tight authority. Through this venture, he supported films that explored realistic social themes and character-driven storytelling, including the acclaimed Marty, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture. This move demonstrated not only business acumen, but also a desire to influence the direction of cinema itself. Lancaster believed movies could entertain while still challenging audiences, and he used his position to champion stories that addressed inequality and human struggle. In an industry often driven by profit alone, he sought meaning alongside success. His production work reflected a man unwilling to remain passive, choosing instead to shape Hollywood from within and ensure that his legacy extended far beyond the characters he portrayed on screen. Public persona versus private complexity. Like many figures from Hollywood's golden age, Lancaster's public image often differed from his private reality. On screen, he projected confidence, heroism, and emotional intensity. Off-screen, he was described by colleagues as intelligent, disciplined, and sometimes reserved. His personal life included multiple marriages and widely discussed relationships, realities that added layers to his otherwise polished reputation. Rather than presenting a flawless facade, Lancaster's life revealed the pressures that accompanied fame, constant travel, and creative ambition. These experiences did not diminish his artistry, but instead humanized him. Audiences often forget that classic film stars navigated the same emotional challenges as anyone else, only under far brighter lights. Lancaster's journey reminds us that charisma and strength do not erase vulnerability. They simply coexist, shaping the depth audiences ultimately connect with. Understanding Hollywood's golden age personalities. The phrase Hollywood's golden age evokes glamour and nostalgia, yet it also represents a period filled with strong personalities, fierce competition, and intense creative pressure. Stories from that era often highlight conflicts, disagreements, and reputational rumors that grew over time. Labeling individuals as evil oversimplifies complex human behavior, shaped by ambition, stress, and cultural expectations. Many actors of the time were admired for their talent while also criticized for personal flaws or professional disputes. Rather than villains, they were individuals navigating an evolving industry where image often mattered as much as performance. Lancaster himself witnessed these dynamics firsthand, observing how admiration and criticism could coexist around the same person. The reality of classic Hollywood was rarely black and white. It was a landscape of powerful egos, artistic passion, and the constant tension between authenticity and public perception, reputation, rumor, and the power of storytelling. Over the decades, stories have circulated about numerous film legends, sometimes blending truth with exaggeration until the lines become difficult to separate. Memoirs, interviews, and second-hand accounts often reflect personal perspectives rather than definitive facts. Lancaster, like many contemporaries, lived in an environment where rumors could grow faster than confirmation. These narratives, whether flattering or critical, reveal more about the culture of celebrity than about any single individual. Hollywood thrived on mythology, turning real people into larger-than-life characters whose off-screen lives became public entertainment. Recognizing this context allows us to approach historical claims with balance and empathy rather than judgment. Instead of searching for heroes or villains, it is more meaningful to view these figures as artists shaped by extraordinary circumstances, whose imperfections existed alongside undeniable contributions to cinema's enduring legacy. Later years marked by health challenges. In his later life, Lancaster faced serious health struggles that gradually limited his once boundless energy. Atherosclerosis and heart complications led to surgeries and ultimately a stroke in 1990 that affected his mobility and speech. For a man whose voice and physical presence had defined decades of performance, this loss was especially poignant. Yet those close to him noted his dignity and quiet strength during these years, qualities that mirrored the discipline he had shown throughout his career. He withdrew from public appearances but remained respected and remembered by peers and fans alike. The contrast between his vibrant screen image and his later physical limitations served as a reminder of life's fragility. Even as his body weakened, his body of work remained powerful, continuing to speak for him long after he could no longer address audiences himself. Legacy beyond labels and headlines. Burt Lancaster passed away on October 20th, 1994, leaving behind a filmography that spanned decades and genres, influencing actors and filmmakers who followed. His legacy is not defined by gossip or sensational labels, but by the artistry he brought to each performance and the integrity he showed in pursuing meaningful projects. He demonstrated that strength and sensitivity could coexist, that commercial success and social awareness need not be opposites. His work continues to be studied not only for entertainment value but for its emotional honesty and technical excellence. Lancaster's career reminds us that the true measure of an artist lies in contribution rather than controversy. Long after headlines fade, it is the films, the characters, and the emotional connections with audiences that endure, preserving his place among the most respected figures of classic American cinema. Remembering humanity within Hollywood history. When reflecting on Hollywood's past, it is tempting to divide figures into extremes of admiration or criticism, yet history is rarely that simple. Burt Lancaster's life illustrates the importance of viewing public icons as multifaceted individuals shaped by their time, opportunities, and limitations. The golden age of cinema produced extraordinary art because it was fueled by passionate, imperfect human beings striving for recognition and creative fulfillment. A balanced perspective honors both achievements and challenges without reducing anyone to caricature. Lancaster's story ultimately stands as one of perseverance, adaptability, and artistic courage. Rather than focusing on sensational narratives, remembering the humanity behind the fame allows his legacy and the legacy of his era to remain rich, instructive, and inspiring for generations who continue to discover the magic of classic film.